Ladies and gents, what's happening? We're live down at the Bucket List on Bondi Radio with my co-host Katie Turner, and we're going to go film live, guys. So we're
big show today. We've got Odette Blacklock coming down at 11:15, so she'll be here any minute.
Let's do
and
this.
Have we got any other?
Michael, his name is.
Michael.
The ballet dancer.
A ballet dancer.
Turned PT, athletic performance coach as well. So it's just like this overall vision. I'm very excited to chat to this guy because he's got this concept of like ballet and that element of fine detail, and then going into the strength and conditioning with athletes in a different path. It just seems to be
awesome. My favourite actor in the world is Patrick Swayze, and he was a ballet dancer.
Well, there you go. Let's go live now.
Let's go live, plug it in, turn it on.
Let's do this. Let's have a bit of fun with it.
So again, you guys are getting behind the scenes stuff while we start.
Yeah, you get all the behind the scenes stuff, yeah?
If you don't want the behind the scenes stuff, download Bondi Radio app.
Yep.
Alright. Ready to go. Turn it on, plug it in.
Turn it on, plug it in. Sorry, but I don't know if I gave that to you. Is that yours?
No, that's mine there.
Alright, cool.
Where am I plugging in here?
You plug it in there. Up here, anyway.
Oh,
Let me know if it's how that goes. I don't have my earphones today.
you don't have your earphones today? Oh!
I'm going to feel naked without it.
Naked.
Alright, ready to go?
Ready to go.
Let's do this.
I can't believe the weather. This is crazy.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Tell me when.
Wait,
You want the music?
do you want to do the green thing?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Do the green thing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome down to Bondi Radio. This is Liam Zoller, your host, with my co-host Katie Turner, live down on the fitness show on Bondi Radio. Super excited about this show, guys and girls. Wow, that was a good introduction.
It was a very good introduction.
I know I'm shooting my own horn in that situation, but I'm getting good.
Getting
more
professional.
Professional. Let's hope you guys can hear us down in Bondi Radio, though.
Yeah.
I hope I haven't made an error of judgment in some ways, but
No, I can hear
we're
it fine.
here.
We're here. That's what
We're
it
here. Can you hear me through your earphones?
I can hear you through
I
your
feel
earphones.
naked through my earphone.
I
With no
know.
earphones.
Now I'm like,
it's like a
ooh,
process.
I feel like so professional.
Yeah, I know. It's weird, right? Like I used to do this with footy, with rugby league, a sports background. Always thought I needed to have that same process going into a sporting match, and then when it changed, like everything just seemed to be thrown off. And I just feel like maybe it's good to change things around a bit, because if you always have the same process, you never know how you could potentially be without that process.
Well, adaptability is one of the biggest qualities to success, right? Is how we adapt to different environments. It's not necessarily how skillful you are, but how you adapt to change. But the other person I've been listening to this week is Jay Sheedy. Have you seen him on Facebook?
Jay Sheedy. No, I haven't heard of Jay Sheedy.
He's like a motivational and puts these amazing videos together about how the mind works, how the body works, and and he gets motivational speakers to come on. And the last one that I saw him do was about how the top successful people actually have habits, and that's what makes them successful, is by how Beyonce's got to her point, and how Tony Robbins and whatnot, they have some form of habit that they follow every day.
Yeah.
Whether that's
a ritual.
exercise, a ritual, yeah.
So but this is where I always get fascinated and curious. What is that habit, and how did they create that habit? Like, because I've created some habits in my time that did not serve me, still probably don't serve me to this day.
I
but then
it's
how
about
do you
changing, right?
changing up? Maybe it is the change, like not doing it with no earphones. There's a bit of a change today. Maybe that will formulate a new habit that could potentially make us better in the result. Actually, don't have any headphones. Did a perfect opening.
A perfect opening.
Maybe it's that's what it is. Just
No headphones. Remember we didn't have any headphones for the James Smith.
Yeah, that's true.
We didn't
I
have
have
any
one.
Oh, you
I
had some?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think I had any. So
it's just interesting. Look, that went way off topic, but simultaneously, with the right habits, you can have that success. But maybe in order to have the right habits, you've got to figure out, you've got to change your current ones.
what works? Yeah.
What
I mean,
works?
for this show, my main habit is I do a quick 30-minute smash out in a coffee before I get on.
Yeah.
And that's like, I just know that makes me feel good. It sparks me up. It makes me, plus the caffeine.
Yeah, caffeine always helps. Well, it's funny that I think the Commandos always say this. I'm a big fan of the Commandos thing. I know I've mentioned it a few times before, but just look at what they do. They're very like, I consider very successful people in there, and they have to be very, very disciplined. And they use 3 words, the Marines: improvise, adapt, overcome. I love those 3 words when you
adapt and overcome. Yeah.
So, you know, in this situation, going back to the headphones, probably is, you know, not the best example, but it's relative because you always have to have, if you have those 3 elements based around, you know, what I guess it becomes more of a present moment. In the present moment, how you're going to improvise, how you're going to adapt, how you're going to overcome that current problem that you're in.
Because we're humans, right? And I used to have nightmares about turning up, you know, went to my lectures when I was lecturing, or to group fitness classes where the music didn't work, where, you know, the microphone didn't work, or whatnot. So, you know, and these things are going to happen. So those 3 measures, improvise, adapt, and overcome, you know, are really prominent qualities to have.
I like the improvise because that's how I teach the guys, just off a little bit off topic, but I teach the guys that when they're teaching the classes. So I don't teach the classes much anymore, but there's a certain structure to follow when we're doing these freestyle group training, like, you know, the sleds, the battle ropes, the suspensions, the kettlebells. There's a certain process, but I always say to them, remember those 3 things: improvise, adapt, overcome. Because once the structure goes out the window, you might have 9 people instead of 8. What happens? You know, you're going to have to, I guess, adapt to the situation, right?
Plan B.
Plan B, right. So that sometimes you have to improvise on the spot in order to have a successful experience. So it's just, I always tell those words, and I love those 3 words. So there, improvise, adapt, overcome, guys.
Beautiful. Keep them in the back of your head and plan
always.
B.
If it's good enough for the Marines, it's good enough for Katie Turner and Liam Zoller.
That's
right?
True. It's one area I never want to go to, though, I have to say, is Defence Forces. I'm not good with rules and regulations. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. Authority. Yeah, I think...
Rebel.
No, a rebel with a good cause.
I was going to say rebel with no cause, rebel without a cause.
With a good cause.
That's me, rebel without a cause.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got a cause.
You have to figure it out. Alright, so we're bringing Odette Blacklock in then?
Yeah, let's bring her in.
Should we bring her in? We'll go to a song for a couple of minutes.
Go for a song, let's bring Odette in, and we'll have her on for the next 45 minutes or so.
Yep, awesome. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Me too.
Virgin Active Trainer, is that right?
I did stuff that up last week, because I did remember that she was a fitness first, because I just saw the Barangaroo, and I didn't realise that Virgin Active were a Barangaroo as well. So
she's the
do apologise to Virgin Active for that?
Well, she's the enemy now. Fitness first, Virgin Active. Can we talk to each other? It's all gonna go. It's all gonna go down. Now let's have a bit of fun with it, guys. Let's go to a song for a couple of minutes. We're gonna go to a song.
Grab a coffee if you're on Facebook Live.
Otherwise, download the Bondi Radio app.
Download the app.
Just on the listeners, our listeners are growing through Bondi Radio and the show, which is great to see. You know, being hit down here for 10 months now to see where it's come from in order to where it is now. It's just continuously growing. So I can't go without the people listening in, downloading the app and you know, believing in the callers, which is awesome. So credit to all the listeners out there.
Thanks for listening. And any questions you might want to have answered, or, you know, we're pretty loose with our structure. So, you know, and anything that you want answered, any questions, please type in and let us know.
Let's do it. Let's go. All right, let's go to a song, guys and girls.
Is that fan still here? Oh, there. I was like, oh my god, it's so hot in here.
Odette, how you going? Nice to meet you. Do you hear it okay on the radio?
Oh, I didn't know.
Do you hear it okay on the radio? Oh, okay. Oh, perfect. Pretty loud speaker.
Yeah.
Come in then.
Hi.
Double check if it's all.
Thanks for coming.
The problem, I was like, oh my gosh, because I thought it was in my mind when I woke up this morning. I was like, oh, it's 12 o'clock, and then I looked at the message and I'm like, it's 11:15. Oh my god, I gotta go.
I gotta run. Now, do you want to sit or stand?
Oh no, just sit there. Is that okay?
Yeah,
we'll bring that because we're doing live, so we're going through our Facebook
Live.
Live.
Say hello live, guys.
And look how beautiful she's looking today.
She's looking beautiful. I went
to my friend's 40th last night, so it's like, you know, you just
Little hungover.
yeah.
Tad hungover.
No, tell me.
Hey, we got James sick in a couple of weeks, and he could barely stand.
Okay, all right, good. So I'm not the only one, but it's just timing, isn't it?
How good's that to hear, guys? We do drink.
We definitely do everything. It's all about moderation.
It's all about moderation, exactly right. You ready to go, ladies? You want to sit down? And we'll go live on air in a
Okay.
So we're going to share this mic.
Okay.
And I'm just going to pop these on so we can hear and look professional.
Yeah, you can look professional.
How long do we go for on this?
Whatever you want. Let's just
Pretty
say
loose in terms of our structure.
20 minutes,
Okay.
30 minutes. We don't like to say set time frame because you might be on a bit of a roll with something, and I don't want to ruin it. Right, Katie, do you want to go down that? Do you want to press that button for 5 seconds? 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fitness Show. This is Liam Zoller, your host, back down here with Katie Turner and with our guest, Odette Blacklock. What's going on?
What up, guys?
What
Look
up?
at these awesome last names.
I know,
Shockman
right?
last week,
Shockman.
Blacklock, Zolo.
I saw her on Thursday and I go,
How'd you go?
Shockman!
Yeah, that's a pretty good name.
That's a
good
great last name.
That's
Strong. Blacklock's a strong last name.
Yeah, it is. It wasn't always my last name though. It was a Spears, which was a good last name
Spears,
too.
that's not bad.
Brittany.
Britney Spears, that's
You can't
right.
complain with that.
Are you
Spelled
related?
as well.
You related?
Oh, maybe like somewhere down the line. Back down the line.
Everybody keep asking you to sing one more time.
No, not that song. I used to sing as well, but yeah, not as well as her.
A lady of all measures. So
Yeah.
let's give the audience a bit of a brief rundown about yourself and where you've come from and your journey, because I love it and I want you to share that with them.
Yeah, well, I'm here today, but started a long time ago when I was born in the Blue Mountains.
Blue Mountains girl.
Yeah, I was from the Blue Mountains.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I grew up there. But yeah, I suppose my fitness journey, which most people ask me about, basically after I had my son, I had him quite early, and I went through quite a bit of depression then, and to get back on my feet and to really find myself again, I just started running. That was the thing that was accessible to me, and so I put on my running shoes, started running again. I used to be a runner when I was a kid, and it was something that was like in my genes, but I was quite unhealthy at the time, so it took me a long time to get back into shape. But getting the momentum to start, running again and getting healthy, then, got my education sorted, became a podiatrist, so I did my health science degree, my medical degree, and then really got back on my feet again. But it all started with just running, just a simple, activity. And
how far were you running a day? Or were you running for a day or for a week?
Look, I started running 200 meters up the road, and that puffed me out. Everyone's got to start somewhere. So I have my own running group now, but because I want to encourage people to start running again. But it's just about starting, and I was terrible when I started that. So
We all are, though, aren't we?
totally.
That's the fun of it. When we first start something, that's why I feel as though people don't start things, because they're so scared of being crap at or shit at it.
Yes.
But you're gonna be shit, and that's where you learn to grow. So
That's it.
And look at where you are now.
I know.
Now you're.
Brangaroo. I did make a
Brangaroo.
mistake last week. I thought you were with Cougar First. And
Well,
Don't mention
I work fitness though, by the way. So the enemy. We're the enemy.
He's a PT
I'm
manager
the
at
personal
Market
training
Street.
manager at Market Street. So
No,
don't
it's
judge
good.
me.
It's getting everybody healthy and fit. You can't complain
Well,
about that.
you know what? One of our managers, senior managers, is actually going to Virgin Active.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Which,
so I don't know if I'm allowed to say. No, he's going to be the operations manager.
Oh,
He's going to
okay.
be like a boss.
Box.
So he's going to be boss. So Virgin Active is seeing a lot of great things. There's more gyms opening up around.
It
so
is, yeah.
that'd be like Fitness First's biggest competitor at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we want to be, we want to be number one. So if they're, up the top, I don't know where we both stand, but we do need to open a lot more gyms. I know that.
Yeah.
There is money behind us. We've got Richard Branson,
Yeah.
so it's
you
going
ever
to
met him?
happen. No, he was meant to come to our opening, and then he was meant to speak, on this live video,
Yeah.
and then it didn't eventuate. So I was like, he knows my name, and then I'm like, he didn't come through. So
If you're
maybe,
listening, Branson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Branson. Regular listener. I
Yeah.
heard Richard Branson of this show.
But most of them do get to meet, like a lot of the employees have met him, and so
Do you get discounts on flights?
Different businesses.
yeah, I think so. No, it's the same business. It's all under Virgin, the umbrella.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're kind of part of this big network, which is really cool, and it's great to see how a big business runs. So it's like half corporate, half gym world. So I haven't been in an organisation like this before. So
Yeah, that's what everyone says when they work at Virgin. I'm fascinated by the Virgin business model.
yeah, people
So-
never leave as well. Like it's one of those. It's kind of like working for Google, because
really?
it's just the working conditions are
It's big on that.
Yeah, it's big on working conditions and everybody's happy. And I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What, you can be nice in business and treat your employees correctly? Wow.
Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought?
Yeah, so it's great. It's been a great change, you know. I've worked for a lot of gyms and they've been good, but this has just been quite an eye-opener.
So what were you working before Virgin Active? Were you working at Fitness First at all?
No, I've never worked at Fitness First.
No. Okay.
Unfortunately. No, I used to just teach Pilates. So that's when I got back into my health and fitness. The first qualification I went to go and do was a Pilates certificate. So foreign Pilates, and then so I've always taught that at gyms. It's just great income teaching as an instructor, being your yoga instructor, Pilates, that sort of thing, because you get about $50 to $90 for 1 hour. So it's a pretty good qualification to have while you're studying or doing other things, because a lot of gyms will need you. So I started with that and then did my personal training certificate, and I just subcontract to lots of different gyms.
Yeah.
So,
and this new gym at Virgin Active, it's like a different style of gym. It's like
it's called a collection club. So
collection club.
Yeah, which is not just collecting money from people, but it's
that's finance first.
Yeah. Exactly right. So in England, I think they've got them collection clubs, but this is the first one in Australia, and it's just more of a boutique, high-end club where we just offer classes. So there's no gym floor. There is a personal training studio, but if you kind of look at the gyms nowadays, they are boutique. They offer one class or one service, and it becomes quite a community atmosphere. You know, I'm sure like you've got what's down in Bondi, you've got like 98 Riley Street, that type of thing. Yeah. So lots of people love that community feel, and it was like, how can we bring that to Virgin? How can we just make classes and exercise irresistible to people? So our classes, I mean, you won't find the type of service anywhere else. It's kind of like flying first class. So say in our boxing class, we've got the teardrop bags, which are aquafield bags. So when you punch them, they absorb your punch, really nicely. You've got Cali Active boxing gloves, which are leather, and we put them on this ozone cleaner so that all of the moisture gets sucked out of the boxing glove, and an antimicrobial, so you'll never have a stinking boxing glove. You know when you go to boxing and you
I went to boxing this morning, I still got smelly gloves.
Smelly hands, it's so gross. And so,
I've had a shower and I've washed my hands 3 times.
Exactly, and that's what people hate. So we've taken those things that you hate about the gym out of it. So you book in your boxing bag like you book in a seat on a plane. You go, I want boxing bag number 2 because it's here near the window or whatever, and there's your gloves waiting for you that are all cleaned. When you finish, you get a lemon scented towel, a cold towel to, brush off all the sweat. And then you've got, what else have we got? We've got, I'm not meant to mention the champagne that we give you on Thursday and Friday night, so I didn't say that. And then after every class you get a free smoothie.
I'm in.
Wow.
I'm in.
That amazing.
How do I sign up?
I know.
You can come in. I'll bring you in. For the month of April, we have complimentary classes as well.
Oh,
so, yeah.
And Thursday night, I'm going.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, complimentary night.
Yeah. I've seen one of your trainers there, Tony, is it?
Tony is
he
out
like
of
a
control.
dancing? I've been following him on Instagram, and he's crazy.
He is so crazy.
Exactly
like, he's
what
on
you
another
want to see.
level, and it's really, fitness trainers were all, like
energy
big characters.
Yeah.
So, like my first day, it was like Tony. It was me and the other 4 head coaches. It was Tony, John, who's a boxing instructor, and Emma. And I pretty much was stuck with Tony from day dot. I was like, who is this person?
So why is he so crazy? What's it?
Just what he does.
Yeah.
And I've only seen snippets on his Insta. I'm like, I like this guy already.
Everybody loves him.
I got it crazy.
Yeah. So he's quite, you either like
Balance amount of crazy.
Yeah. He's good.
Well,
He brings good energy.
Yeah, and fun, because I suppose that's the other thing that when I first started in the fitness industry 15 years ago, you had to join a gym to get fit. Nobody knew what they were doing. They were on treadmills for hours, and and they're doing the old Les Mills body pump classes.
Yes.
And now, like you're saying, everything's so specialised, but we kind of want entertainers if you're going to do group fitness.
Yeah.
Oh, completely. Yes.
To have fun and keep coming back.
Yeah, exactly right. You've got to be more entertaining than actually delivering a good class.
I know.
Like, it's not so much the exercise; it's so much the energy that you're providing in the class.
100%.
Yes.
Is that what you provide as
yeah.
well? Like you have to
Oh.
provide that element of entertainment?
100%. I do feel like an entertainer, especially when I do a burn class, because it's quite, you know, the music and the lights. So we had DJ training, we had, you know, light therapy training, we had like
Wow.
sound, voice training, all of that. So our instructors are, yeah, it's like my instructing went from like good to now I feel like a very, very, you know, really good instructor because all of my music, my lighting, my cueing is all kind of synced to this experience. It's really crazy.
Wow,
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
going on to
It's like,
the
come down.
class.
Yeah.
And the other thing, so how I found you was you had an article in Body and Soul that I read about your time on Survivor, and that some of these women were actually going on the show to lose weight. That was their premise.
Well, they did. I mean, a lot of people, the first thing that they ask is, how much weight did you lose? Everyone is always like, oh, you're on Survivor, how much weight did you lose? You know, and that's kind of, it's like, that's not the point. The point isn't like losing weight and starving. Like, you do starve, and because it's so many days, it's not beneficial. It's not like intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
It is like
How many
fasting.
days were you on?
It's like starvation.
35 days.
35 days.
Yeah, 35 days, and that's when it becomes, it's not great. It's definitely not great for the body. You do get rations of rice after like the first 5 days of being on there. So you'll get
5 days of nothing.
Yeah, you got to go find stuff. You know, you got to go find, you know,
Berries.
coconut. You eat a lot of coconut if
Oh,
you can
wow.
find them as well, and if you
Yeah.
can get them and open them.
So when was
Oh,
this one? Is
wow.
this Australian Survivor?
Yes.
Were you on there with Michelle Dugan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're friends. Are you guys friends, or were you opposite? I never saw the show.
Yeah, we were on.
Competitors? Oh, you're all
Yeah.
competitors,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
We were on the same team. But yeah, they definitely, like, when you apply for the show, I mean, 20,000 people applied for our season, and it's like 24 get picked, so, but the application process is very laborious. You've got so much stuff so much information that you've got to give to them, and it's like, what would you write on your gravestone to, like, you know, would you ever cheat on a partner? Like, every single thing about you, and your life story and your history, they want to know about you. So they want to pick people that are going to rub you the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like,
Otherwise it's not interesting,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, you need to have that, don't you?
Yeah, you do
No
need to
show.
have that. Yeah, and so I think it's quite good. Most people are quite good. You know, they still have remained friends, but I don't think that was the point.
Yeah.
Either.
You've
So-
definitely not.
Yeah.
Hello, Davina from Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
What's that? Which one was that one?
Davina.
Which one's Davina? Is
The
it
one that wanted to cheat on the other girl with Dean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she went in for the...
I didn't watch
She
that.
was like the baddie, and
I only saw the guy
Anyway.
doing silly things on. Anyway, we won't go down that path.
Yeah.
It's a fitness
Well,
show.
she was put on there to be the meanie, so
Oh, really?
and rub everybody the wrong way, and now everybody
Always
hates her,
fun.
even after the show. So
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Let's make it back to positive though.
Yes.
yeah.
So let me talk about the essence of all the new stuff that are coming into Virgin Active, and how do they know? Like, what are the new things? Is it all coming from America, or is it like, are we industry leaders? Like, we had this question with James Smith a couple of weeks back.
And
It was
Andrew
USA
Davis,
and Andrew
yeah.
Davis. It was USA, UK, or
Yeah.
Australia, the biggest in terms of innovation with fitness. Now,
Yeah.
if this is the most innovative club that you've ever been a part of, or you feel like it's the best club, where are these ideas stemming from? Is it the Richard Branson, these UK,
Yeah.
or is it from our innovation of Australia?
It's definitely, like anything, we always do look to the US and see what's going on.
Damn
there.
it.
Yeah. I think with most things, it's just because they've got a big population and
Yeah.
they kind of,
Who
know,
flies it? The innovation kings,
yeah.
aren't they, and queens?
Yeah. And a bigger, I suppose a bigger network to work from.
bigger audience. So
yeah.
that's where we've got some inspiration from. Definitely the head coaches. I missed out on going to the US, but they got all a free freaking trip to
Oh,
the US.
What?
Yeah.
Virgin first class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I came
LA.
in late,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no, I missed a trip to the US. This sucks. So I'm still needing a holiday. Richard, if you're listening,
Richard, regular listener.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we always broadcast from over there as well. So
Yeah.
from
But
Bondi
this
to LA.
this club is the first of its kind. So we are actually trialing this type of club, and we're going to take this club to the rest of the world.
Wow.
That's what I've heard this so many times before in the past. This is why I wanted to ask the question. So many business owners say that America take stuff to Australia
Yes, to trial
as like a
it.
test, and then they bring it back.
Yes, 100% they do
Yeah,
that.
it's funny. It's so. Is it really the innovation of Australia, or is it really the they just use us as test dummies?
Yeah, I think that's innovation.
Dummies, yeah, dummies, test dummies.
I'm just going to try and turn this fan on.
But
Yeah.
I think it's just believing in ourselves and our ideas, because a lot of the time I do find in Australia we'll reuse other people's ideas because it's safe.
Yeah.
But when you go to the US, there's this kind of vibe like there's always something new, and somebody wants to innovate and somebody wants to try something new, and they're like, yes, you can trial it, you can do it. But over here, it's kind of like, has that worked before?
Yeah, that's
Tall
right.
poppy? Is that a bit of tall poppy syndrome?
Almost like waiting to see people fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
I
is
was
a
talking
bit
about that
like
with a
that.
girlfriend the other day, actually. And
Yeah.
like we were talking about last week, it's like even sports stars. When they're up, Australians are with them. As soon as they fall, it's like, see you later next.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very fickle like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It
And
is.
don't get behind. We've got to be part of the Aussie bandwagon.
Yes.
Come together as a crew.
I know, and they say that mateship, right? But
Yeah. Yeah. It's
But I
not
think
fun.
you've got more of opportunity now to make that happen though, because we've got access to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So the people that are innovators don't have to wait and say, oh, can the network take on this show, or can so and so do that? Like, you've got the opportunity to get out there yourself.
Yeah.
And Australians have, but then they ended up, when they do go well, they go to the US.
that's
Yeah,
right.
exactly right.
More
Yeah.
money.
That's where the money is. Yeah.
Yeah.
More money. So what with the running background now? So you do running classes?
Yeah, so basically I started off running again, got my life, back to, where I needed it to be, and got me back on my feet. And then so I started running and doing like the professional track league. I don't know if you've heard of that. So you race for prize money, and it's a handicap race. So they do like the stall gift. You've probably heard of that race.
Stall gift?
Stall gift, so it's on once a year, and you win, I think it's about $120,000 worth of prize money for a 100-meter race, so it's pretty good
I
money.
might start
So you're a
running.
sprinter?
Yeah, sprinting, so I got back into sprinting.
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
so
Bob.
I
You're saying Bob stop?
yeah, I met him too.
Did ya? What's he like?
Yeah, he really liked blonde girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah, big booties.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't me. So I was like, no. No, I just went and I was like, oh my god, I sprint too. Can I please take a photo? And everyone's like, you're not allowed to take a photo with him, nobody is. And I'm like, nah, I'm getting one.
You
And
got
I got
one?
it. Yeah, I was like, nah, I don't care
Why
what you
isn't
say.
anyone allowed to take photos?
He was just on a trip, like didn't want to be. Well, he didn't. I don't think that he didn't want anyone to know he was in like Australia. So
Yeah,
it's just
okay.
like, oh, I just want to chill.
Yeah,
So
I want to
anyway, yeah, I wasn't running with him unfortunately. It was just more of a opportunity.
So
Yeah.
you do running classes for sprinters, or is it more long distance running for people? How does that
Okay,
work?
so yeah, because I started back sprinting, and then so I was training with a lot of really good coaches, and then because I did my degree in podiatry, which is like a lower limb specialist, then that made me want to look more into the science of running. As soon as I finished my degree, the universe aligned and said, we're going to send you back overseas. We're going to send you overseas. Under Armour was going to take you there, and I went and I won a trip to Death Valley, which made me become an ambassador for a while for Under Armour. So, and that was a long distance run. So I then started to train more long distance runners and worked with a company called Run Lab. So that was the owner of Run Lab is like one of Australia's top marathon runners, so I learned a lot from them. So I've just kind of culminated all my skills and experiences into this running program that I do now. And it's just about getting people to start running. Like it pretty much saved my life. So I'm thinking if people have that skill, it's a skill they've got forever. But looking at it as a podiatrist, people come to me, they start running, they get plantar fasciitis. They start running, they don't know what shoes to wear. So it's like, how do I use the skills of as an athlete, as a podiatrist, and bring that to the general public so they can run for good and they can really enjoy it. So that's what my running program's about.
Treadmill running versus outdoor running.
Oh, have you seen the skill mill?
No. Oh, yeah, I have, where you have to actually push it.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's
cool.
awesome. But treadmill, I mean, look, if you've got, it's all about accessibility. If that's what you've got, and a lot of the time, women find it a bit of high risk to run at night, maybe outside. if they don't have a running group or that type of thing. So if treadmill's all you got, that's fine. But obviously running outdoors, running on grass, I love sand sprints. If you can get down to the beach and run, better for you.
Yeah, always. So what would be, can you give us a snippet of your running program now? Like, do you train big groups, or is it more of an online thing, or is it an amalgamation of both? How does that work?
So I train individuals and groups, but at Barangaroo, so they took me on board. So they had these 3 programs picked. They had boxing, cycling, and HIIT. And then I went for the HIIT role, and they're like, "Oh, we love your run group. Can you bring this program to Virgin?" Because I already have my own run group. And they're like, "Can you bring this to Virgin Active?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool." So I wrote them a program. So I've been writing that, and so basically what it is, you do biomechanical drills, mobility drills, and then we do a conditioning, a run, which is usually like interval runs, hill repeats, stair repeats, or a long base run. So trying to just bring all those skills to the general population.
And is it would they be your clients? Are they more aligned to going into a competition based on the back of it, or just to get them to run or run properly? Is it a bit of both?
It's both, yeah. So any kind of ability it's aimed towards. But yeah, you can be like I've got a few of the runners are going in events and training for marathons. All of this is going to help you. Like you'll need to do hill repeats once a week. You need to do interval repeats once a week. You need to do all of your drills. So a lot of people, even though they go on events, they don't do any of the athletic drills. So it's really surprising because they improve your form so much and decrease your risk of injury. So it is something that to do with a group is really beneficial.
Yeah. Running got such a bad name for so long, and then in came HIIT, and everybody was HIIT, F45, 6 times a week. And to be honest, I kind of have been in the HIIT bandwagon for a while, and I've just gone back to running, because running's my meditation. We were talking about this last week. I can't sit still, and my friend Stefan actually commented on our video, because he's big into martial arts, he's a black belt, class, whatever it is, and he's big on the meditation front.
Is that who?
He commented. Cool. But we were saying, like, I've tried it, and I sit there, and I'm a mum as well, so I'm thinking, right, when I get home, I've got to cook dinner, and I've got to do my mind doesn't relax. But when I run, that's when I come into myself and my thoughts, and I've just started in the last month. And the calming factor afterwards has been huge, but also the weight loss. I have to say, like, you can't beat it. I mean, it's not the be-all and end-all. It's great to have, plus, everything else. If you want to do Pilates once a week, if you want to, everything has a place. But I couldn't feel happier, and my body composition has changed only in a month.
It does totally change your body and your physique. Took about two years of sprinting, and my body did completely change a lot more into more of a runner's physique. It was a long time.
Body transformation. If you were to have one of 2 different running styles, for body transformation, is it better to be a sprinter or a marathon runner or long distance?
I wrote a blog about this. For meditation, for people that want to clear their mind, you have a goal. Long distance running is great. You should do. Might do 1 long run a week, but if you look at the science, sprinting's better by far on all.
And what's the science? Why the science? Is it more for
because you're able to keep muscle mass. So if you've got more muscle mass, your metabolism is going to be a lot higher. So the knock-on effects from that is, so fat loss. You're going to get more fat loss in, for a shorter period of expenditure. So you're only going to be sprinting for probably, maybe you might do 5 150 repeats with a 3 to 5 minute break in between, because you've got heaps of a break, but you'll probably burn a lot more calories than if you went for an hour run.
Really?
Yeah, so you get way more bang for your buck. For bone mass, it's really beneficial, but you'll lose a lot more bone mass for long distance running, that type of thing. Just things like that. If you look at the science behind it, there's quite a lot of.
And you always see a solid sprinter as well. You
much
do
more
see
muscular.
definitely muscular.
It also improves insulin sensitivity.
Yes.
Which is something
really? What's sprinting?
Sprinting, yeah, because of the glycolysis and rather than long distance running. So I always say to people like insulin resistant clients or type 2 diabetics, definitely that sprinting or HIIT training is really good.
It is, and mentally it is. Mentally it's
well, I could be your dream here because I ran a marathon in 28 days preparation, but there's so many injuries that followed up on that. You need to work on your
That's it, work on technique. Yeah.
I wanted to do it and I always share the story because I didn't want to do it out of ego. I never do anything out of ego. I just wanted to see how I could potentially do it in a short amount of time. And I realised that running a marathon, doing like 42 Ks, the Sydney Running Marathon, running festival, I have so much more respect for runners and the training that they put in. And I haven't even gone down the sprinting pathway yet. So just to have that respect for people, the discipline that it shows to go, to turn up and do the marathon, but turn up and do the Ks in your legs, week in, week out for like months and months and months and months and months.
That's it.
That's what it taught me. Don't do it in 28 days. Don't do it in 28 days.
Unless you never want to run again.
I had a hamstring tear.
It's a great goal. It's a great goal to run a marathon and to just, So I encourage anyone, long distance, sprinting, all of it. Run.
Doesn't matter.
Run.
So what's this Death Valley thing though? Is that a marathon or is that a sprint?
So I went too fast through that story. So this is what happened. Finished uni and working 3 jobs, raising my son, hadn't had a holiday in years. Okay, and I was like, I need to have a holiday. How am I going to get to the US because I'm half African American? So I wanted to go over there and see my family. And I'm like, how am I going to get over to the US? I just need a break. And then there was this competition on Instagram just to show a photo of you after your run, and then so it was like 30% of the competition was your photo, then like what you wrote about running and why running is beneficial and why you love it, and I can't remember the other ones. Anyway, but I was like, so I was like, oh my god, this competition, you win a trip to the US. Yeah. And so as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I'm winning that trip. And I knew it, and everything in my body just knew it. And I'm like, cool, all right, I'm gonna go in it. And anyway, so the day came, and like they were meant to announce the winner, and like we were like, well, and then it's like a week later, and they still hadn't announced the winner, and I'm like, I was just so sure I was winning this trip. And then I went to a psychic for some reason, because I just had to clear it out of my head. And the psychic's like, oh, I see this shoe company, and I see you going overseas. And I was like, wow, really? And then the next day they called me, and they're like, you've won this trip. Wow. And I was like, jeez, yes. So anyway, then like this event was like, you've got to be able to run over 42 Ks. You're going to the hottest, driest place on earth. And I'm a sprinter, and I'm like, shit, I don't even run 5 Ks. Like, this is going to be so hard. Sorry, I'm swearing on there. So then I'm like, and I had 3 weeks to train for it. So I'm like, oh my god, like every day just training, and I got up to 5 Ks in about a week, and then the next week, I got up to about 10 Ks. I'm like, but by the time came, I could probably do about 10 Ks without stopping. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I just have to go. I said yes, and so I landed in Las Vegas with, Chief Brabin? Runs around here. He runs the original boot camp. So
Chief Braben.
So him and I both won it. So we were 2 Australians that won the trip to go over. And he's a great player. He gets up at 2:30 in the morning, does death stairs in Coogee for hours with a 20-kilo sandbags, and he runs up and down that thing with his wife. Anyway, so I'm going with him, and but look, I landed there and I ran. It was 20 Ks the first day. And then we slept in the desert, and then we woke up the next day and ran another 20 Ks. And they just popped us in Badwater Basin right down the bottom of Death Valley, and we just had to find our way out. And that was a really transformative experience for me though, because I just went through a lot. My father's a bit negative, so he's like, oh, if you need to stop, just stop. Don't go and break your body. Don't. And so the second day my body was broken, and I'm just like, what the hell am I doing? And his voice is like, just stop. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to stop. And I started walking, and everyone was passing me, and then these girls were coming up behind me, and one of them is, her name's Alison, and she's the founder of Harlem Run, and I'd seen her before, and she's got a run group that's like 300 strong. Okay, and so she started that. She had depression. She started at one. It was just her at the beginning, and now it's 300 people. Anyway, so I'm like, oh my god, Alison's behind me, and I'm like feeling all, like I can't do this. And she's like, come on, just run with us. And I'm like, all right, I'll jog with you guys. And then I got my second wind, and then we got to the next aid station, and what's his name, Kevin Plank, who started Under Armour, his bodyguard was there. He's his old bodyguard, and he's like, come on princess, come and run with me. So I started running with him, and the hill, it looked like it was about maybe 200 meters, but it was like a 5k hill, but it just looked, because we're in the desert, and so I'm like, yeah, I'll make it up there, and I keep running, and time's going, and we're not getting anywhere, and I'm like, and I just started to, like, everything came back in my past, and I just broke down, and I'm just like screaming at this, like, the valley. I'm like, and I'm just breaking down, and he's standing there like, all right, you done, princess? Let's go. Like, I'm like, all right. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And I'm running up this hill, like, and he's like, come on, 2, 3, 4, come on, like, And it was just a really, it was a lovely experience. Yeah, and I was like, I had this strong man beside me going like, you can make it, you can do it, like, I'm here with you the whole time, and so for me it was just going through uni, and it was just me on my own for so many years, and I won this trip, and then I had all of these beautiful people around me helping me through this experience and getting over the line, and
I think people, and hats off, because people are scared of failure these days.
Yeah.
And getting yourself to that point of, of almost failing and driving through it mentally is like, it's huge, and it's transformative, and I think that's people's biggest fear these days is
it is. And I could have just said no, like when they said, oh, you're going to have to run 42Ks, people were like, well, I remember one lady saying to me, well, you can't, if you've never run that far, what are you going to do? And I'm like, well, I'm just going to have to show up.
And showing up's the first point.
That's it.
I was listening to Jay Sheedy, we were talking about it before. I don't know if you're following.
He's great,
Yeah, and he had this lady who got on there, and she was talking about her son who ended up with a brain tumour. He was talking about, I've had migraines, and he's lost his vision, and then she took him to this MRI, and he actually had this brain tumour sitting right behind his head. And, they had to go into operate and remove it, but as a result, he was blind. And she repeated that Helen Keller quote, which I love, is there's only one thing worse than losing your vision, is having your sight with no vision.
Yeah.
And I
awesome.
love that, and that's what pushes you through those moments. And we've all been there, and to get to where you are means I've failed, I've broken down, I've been on my ass, I've cried.
Yes.
But
that's the worst that could happen, and it happened, and
move on.
You move on, and you become just so much more stronger, and that makes you can then help others. At the beginning of my running journey, I was kind of like, I was in the Blue Mountains, I bought a home, I had a child, I got married really early. I was like 20 years old, and then I'm like, I don't want to go to Bunnings on the weekend. I don't want to do this. Like, what am I doing? I want to go out and help people and be more and do more in my life. And it's like, now that I've gone through all of this, 12 years later, now I actually have the skills, and I've got the ability to help others. But before, I was like, well, who am I to listen to? Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I need to get out there and start to live a little bit more. So, yeah.
You know what? That Chief Braben guy is like onto something up there with that Stairway to Heaven. But
oh, you want to go do that now?
No, I don't want to do that ever again. It's 320 stairs, and one of my friends said to me, in order to run a marathon, you've got to run up those stairs 15 times.
Yes.
I don't know if he's actually run a marathon before, but I just listened to this one random mate of mine in a pub one time. So what do? Start running that 15 times. I started 15 times.
That's really good.
And then in that 28 days, that was the preparation. I thought, marathon ready. Sweet.
Yeah.
Get into the actual run, full of absolute shit.
Yeah, no, not just that. You just did that solidly?
I did one 30k run.
Oh, 30k? That's good.
That's the longest thing I did was 5k, but then I did one 30k and ran up freaking Stairway to Heaven. So no, Odette, with respect to you, yes, I wouldn't mind thinking about doing it again, but not ever again.
Yeah.
Not ever again. But it's funny.
God,
Look, I like the fact that you were saying though, just to back on the Death Valley when you were screaming at the hill. There's been so many times. It's that all the things that come up for you in that all the negativity, you just got to get it out.
Yes.
You know, it's like you versing the hill. It's like you versing your
100%.
negative frame of mind.
Yeah.
I had that, but I versed an old Chinese man, 60-year-old Chinese man.
What?
It's funny. I know. It's funny. On the marathon when we were actually running it, I actually. This is when I broke down. It wasn't because of the Chinese man, but all that negativity started to come up at the runner's wall. You know how you have a runner's wall?
Yes.
So I leave this at 21 Ks. I decide to start listening to music because that was my gift to myself. If I can run the first 21 Ks without music, the next 21 Ks will be very easy.
Yeah.
So I put the headphones in at 21 Ks and I ran past this 60, 70-year-old Chinese man who had terrible running style, and he was going like looking like he was gonna looking like he was going to die after 21 Ks. So I'm thinking, headphones in, see you later, mate, bye-bye, see you later, get a bit of ego about you. And then you reach about 32 Ks, I'm still feeling good, 35 Ks, I start to see this Chinese guy, old Asian guy, running past me, staying running style, looking like he's going to die, sprinting past me. That's what my breaking point was.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of him, I was like, so hard. So bloody hard.
15 times.
15 times, like, F this shit.
You do. You just break and you have to like, it's okay.
Yeah,
all
it's
right.
alright.
Just make it.
And it doesn't matter about anything around you, a bit deep. That's what I realised, that after that point, it doesn't matter. You've got to take away the environment. It always comes back down to my focus and what I'm going to do in order to achieve that result. That's what he did fantastically, which is excellent. So I thank that old Chinese man that ran past me.
He's probably still running.
He's still running.
He's always in the back of your mind every time you go for a run.
He beat me in the end. He beat me. So tortoise in the hair, isn't it?
It is.
So just before we wrap up, Odette, where do you think the industry's going? Like in terms of, do you think it's becoming this really specialised fitness style? Like, you've got Crew, you've got Virgin Active, you've got, Infinite Cycle, everything's becoming really specialised going down the track, or where do you see the industry?
Or do you reckon it's just more variety? Like it's specified, or is that even that specificity is its own thing? Like MMA, you have karate, you have jiu-jitsu, you had this, and then it created mixed martial arts. Now mixed martial arts is its own brand in itself.
I was listening to those Gracie brothers the other day. They're full of energy, aren't they?
So what do you think is of the
So what I think is that because we have so much access now to information, more people are hungry to go, well, what can I experience, what can I get into? So that's fantastic. So I think the playing field's opening up. As much as I've got this beautiful gym, I'm like, well, give me the beach and I'll run along here back and forth and do sprints. That's me, that's free, and that's beautiful, and I love that. So, where the industry's going, it's hard to say that, like, I don't pay for gym memberships, I never have, but yet I want to encourage everybody to come to the gym. If it's accessible, if fitness, if the gym is accessible to you, that's the right gym for you. Okay, and I'm not going to try and sell a product to anybody for a really high class expensive gym that's an hour away, because you're probably not going to get to it, and it's not going to be much use to you. It's going to be a waste. So the industry, I think there's more access to information, and people are going to take on health on board in their own way, and I think that's really nice. Like, there's something for everybody out there. So maybe more online. I reckon more online stuff, and
because then they can go outside and do the running sprint, but they can utilise your services away from you as well.
So I hope people can take it more, their health and fitness more on board without always having to, like, you want a community, but you want to also be able to always empower yourself to go and get up and do a run for yourself, or do yoga in your lounge room.
I think that's it. We're solving that problem of, it's so time poor these days. people are travelling 3 hours to and from work on average for a 5-day week, 60-hour working week. Where do you fit it in, and what do you like doing?
Yeah.
Because, you know, even though I like running, you know, my clients, and I say, running's awesome, you know, go for a run, and they're like, I hate running.
Yeah. I know, stop saying that.
It sounds like it's beautiful, but...
That's what, I just figured out something. That's where we're going. I reckon where we're going. You can disagree with me. Please challenge me on this. It's any way that we can take away the pain of exercise and leading people into pleasure.
Yes.
And that's where the entertainment thing comes into play with Virgin Active. That comes into play with what you're doing outside. Any way to motivate people to take the pain aspect away from exercise and put a little pleasure into it.
Yeah, because I think people just see it like, oh, I've eaten that, I've got to now go and work out in the gym, and it's
painful.
Like, it's you're relating it to
punishing, exactly right, the pain. So now it's like entertainment, live music, making people feel good, being a comedian, you know, and then that motivation. So maybe we solved it, eh?
I think that's
I think it's
empowering themselves, like you said,
exactly
you know,
right.
giving them. I think this is one thing that James brought up and Andrew was that unfortunately there's so much information out there, and you don't know who to listen to, and there's no control over. Okay, well they look good, but are they qualified?
Yeah,
exactly
right.
Usually, not the case.
Not the case.
I know. Just at once, last week I was training my client, and these girls were training, and you can tell people have picked stuff up though, from the internet or something, and they were just jumping back and forth and side to side, and it was like, oh, I don't really know. I don't think they really know what they're doing. And then my client looks over and goes, I think that girl's really injured, and I was like, so I ran over and I dislocated like a whole knee was like to the side, and I'm like, you know, and her sister's freaking out, like, oh, don't worry about what's happening.
But Kayla is stone, so I can do it.
Yeah, I know. So I think just be careful, be mindful of what you see, and it is up to you. You have to empower yourself as well in what you listen to, what goes in your mouth, what goes in your eyes, what goes in your ears. You still have a responsibility as the listener to go and do a little bit of research and like, does that person have a qualification?
How long have they been in the industry for?
Yeah, and there are some amazing people out there. I love Elliot Knowles. I love, a lot of people on YouTube. You can see they've got the science behind things. So listen to them. They know a lot about the body, and they can explain stuff about anatomy and physiology. And then you got a pretty good ticket, I reckon.
Awesome. Wise words from Odette Blacklock.
Blacklock. From Virgin Active,
Virgin Active.
Yeah, come and see me. Free pass for the month of April.
Thursday and Friday, champagne night. Not allowed to say that though.
Not allowed to say that.
And a free smoothie
But you
after
get free
every
smoothies.
workout.
And from Simon Says Juices. So he's a guy that he had depression and he started making juice, as a hobby, and then he'd go around in his bike with his little bucket of juices and take them to the local cafes, and we really liked his juice, and so we said we're going to buy hundreds of juices off you every day to give to our members.
Way.
And he almost fell off his chair, and so now he's able to employ people. So that juice is good. We recycle all the jars as well. So you're helping other people.
Yeah.
So and it's $60 a week. So basically, if you just come in for the juice every day and just champagne, you get your money back.
Blacklock.
And I suppose that's everywhere. Body starts somewhere. You start on the back of a bike.
That's it.
Exactly
And now, it's not instant. It's not instant start, and it doesn't happen overnight, but it will happen.
It will happen.
Right.
Thank you so much for your time, Odette Blacklock. Let's go to a song, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes' time with our next guest, the ballet dancer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Take a coffee. Facebook Live.
I'm just gonna take a story with you guys. Can they listen to that again on Facebook? I just put
It'll be on our Facebook.
Thank you
Hello.
for having me, Bondi Radio.
No worries.
Thanks so much fun. All right, time.
Alright, yo. I don't know where Michael's gone.
He was over there. Thank you again.
Thanks so much. That was fun.
Take care.
Alright guys, we're back. We're back. You guys get to see all the behind the scenes stuff. So we keep it live.
You don't want to
just
go get a coffee and...
Yeah, if you just to see what happens in the background of a radio show before we're actually going on air. So, but if you actually want to listen to us, if you're commuting to, you know, I don't know, if you're traveling and you're in the car, you can't watch us on Facebook Live, make sure you download the Bondi Radio app from the Apple iTunes Store or Google Play. Did you figure it out? Man, we're going to fix that one.
We are going to do a podcast.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for a logo. Once we get that, we can go live.
Help us out with the logo, guys.
Anybody there?
If anyone out there wants to help us out with the logo with Liam Zolo and Katie Turner, with
and
Michael.
we've got our sponsor.
Bezval.
Where's that from?
Is it Ulda or Ula?
I guess it's a German
background. Yeah. Are you excited? Ready to go?
Very excited.
Awesome. Do you want to take a seat?
Take a seat, mate. We've got a few things, a few questions. Oh, okay. Nervous? Excited?
Is it live already?
No, not live already.
Only on Facebook.
I'll let you know when. But only on Facebook.
Yeah, when I click on the website, it
Doesn't
it's
assist
a
you?
Ukraine website or some sort of like.
The Bondi Radio website.
We'll do it after. We'll have a look. I don't know
we'll
why it's not working.
Oh, if it... Opening the app store and then it doesn't...
And it says change your app store.
Maybe because you're overseas? You come from overseas?
No, it's Australian phone. So then I put OK and then.
That's
We'll
so
have
bad.
a little look because
We'll
you're
have to have a
definitely
look
on
at that
live.
And I'm going to put in my clients as well.
Well, we've got a Facebook Live.
Yeah.
So what we do is that'll post to our, because we've got a new page called The Fitness Show.
The Fitness
And
Show.
then you can share it out.
Alright, let's go guys. There's a song playing in the background, Michael, right now on through the actual app.
Tell me when to go.
So I'll just cancel that out and obviously it's live there, but we're not live through the actual radio show. We'll go live in about 5 or 10 seconds. We'll start pressing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live down on Bondi Radio. This is Liam Zolli, your host, with Katie Turner, my co-host on The Fitness Show. We're with Michael Bezval. Is that right?
That's correct.
We're just trying to do it in a passionate way because we have a common theme down here, Michael, that every person we keep bringing on has an excellent last name. We're carrying on the tradition with your one, so I want to say in that pumped up, motivated way. Mine's Zolo. Turner.
It's not so amazing.
We had Shockman last week. Blacklock. Bezval. Yeah, everyone. Yeah. They're all like superhero names.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Michael's the superhero Bezval.
Exactly.
Welcome into the show, my friend. We don't really know each other too well. Kate doesn't know you too well, but the amount of, I guess I wanted to bring you on the show because one of my good friends, Sammy Frankel, said you have to interview Michael. It's just an interesting story, an interesting background where he came from to where he is now. So, with that in mind, I know nothing about you. I know the ballet side of things, I know the strength and conditioning, you're a PT at Fitness First Bond Street, but I want to steal your thunder. I want you to share with us your story and your history and what brings you to where you are now with such a successful business. So let's start off. How did you enter?
Oh, thank you. Firstly, thank you very much for having me here. I really appreciate, to be first time ever in the radio.
Yeah.
I've been in TV, as a ballet dancer. I travel around the world, perform on a performance on like big stages for 50,000 people, 1,000 people, so that was a bit different, and I never actually had the opportunity to talk to like that on the radio, so that's really great. I'm super excited.
Yeah. Good. That's what we want.
And then also it's in a different language, than it's English is my second language.
Okay.
So first is Czech.
Czech. Oh,
So,
there you go. My partner's Czech.
Oh, your partner's Czech. I didn't know Tom was Czech.
Yeah, Zeman.
He must be a good guy.
He is a good guy.
He must be a good guy.
Yes. Hi, Han.
Yeah, so I don't know where you want me to start. So
Ballet. I want to hear the ballet side of things because I don't know. Like I've never really gone down the ballet path, but now I'm starting to see things from a perspective of being a 30-year-old. Like I'm going to get my kids into dancing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know Leonchenko, the famous boxer. He is, if you look at him, they call him the Matrix. he took a different style of dancing, obviously. I don't know what exact style it was, but the Russian dancing, I think it was. And his father made him take 2 years off boxing as a kid. Said, you're not touching a boxing glove. I know you want to do boxing. You're going to go dancing. You're going to learn dancing. And I think he was reluctant at the start. You should see this kid's footwork now. Well, not kid, he's a grown man. It's unbelievable, absolutely ridiculous. They move his body in such a different dynamic way that I'm fascinated by how that way of looking at things. I'm on the other concept with the rugby league background, straight sagittal plane, you know, clean and jerks, like, that sort of style, like the masculine style. We stayed away from the dancing. I'm like, what an idiot! Like, what that? I should have been moving my body in a different way so I can learn kinesthetically what I potentially could do with my body instead of just sagittally. That's what I find fascinating about ballet. So let's start with the ballet side.
So basically my journey started when I was about 6 years old. I was a young kid, I was passionate, you know, I was really into training. I woke up every day in the morning, did some push-ups, I want to be strong, you know, so I built my body. And my parents saw that energy I had, and they said, oh, you should do some sport. And I wanted to do like fighting, karate, gymnastics, and a friend of my mom, she did ballet, so she said, how about you try ballet preparation?
Yeah.
So I went there, they were a bit shocked, you know, like, wow, it's such a great skill, you know, I had all the terms of, you know, we call it the orthopedic profile, like for lifting, you know, so I had it for ballet, and flexibility, good proportions and stuff, so I started doing that as a 6 years old, twice a week for 4 hours. And then 4 years time when I was 10, they said, oh, would you like to try to become, to go dance in the dance conservatory, be accepted. So they hired me there as a most talented kid.
Wow.
So, and I started there for 8 years.
Yeah.
I did that conservatory in Prague. So it was a full on, obviously, you know, starting every day from 7 in the morning, you start dancing. Every day you have a ballet for 2 hours. And then each year they add you more and more and more, so you end up in like a class 5, you do about 6-8 hours of dancing a day.
Yeah.
So there'll be training, there'll be, like, that's one of the things, you know, I definitely got the most is the discipline. And the energy, you know, to keep pushing.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing now everyone around me. That's pretty powerful because I find that people are a bit more, I would say, lazy, not committed enough, you know, and that's one of the important things in anything, in business, in training, you know, in the life. So the training was intense, every day, many hours, plus performing. So we're performing in National Theatre, State Opera. We travel with the school a lot as well, so I had almost no Saturdays as well. So it was a full 6 days a week training and performing. And after that, I went to the theatre. I danced in the State National Ballet Theatre, National Theatre, Latin America. Travel around the world, so I went 3 times in Japan, did a tour, all Japan around as a soloist. I went to South America, Dubai, most of the Europe. Unfortunately, never went to States, never went to London. Also did musicals, commercials, TVs, advertisements, you know. Lots of things.
Follow a deal. Wow, that's fascinating.
Can I just say, Prague is one of the most beautiful cities.
Yeah.
I went there last year for the first time, and I fell in love.
Beautiful, yeah.
Paris is.
It's a lovely place, isn't it? Prague. What I find fascinating is this is one question that I'm always trying to figure out. It's just a constant search. Maybe it's just an obsession. What particular sport is translatable to different sports? Do you reckon ballet can be translatable to many different sports? Because I mentioned the Lemonchenko thing. You would never think a dancer would be one of the best, he is, if not the best boxer in the world right now. And he comes down to the boxing. I mean the footwork, the dancing skills, the kinesthetic energy. So I guess, do you think ballet dancing could be translatable to many different sports? Like, that's a big, broad question of the sports that can be translatable. But you know, rugby, for example, need a lot of footwork to. We always got taught agility and footwork to step through a line and make a break and get through a gap. Could it be translatable?
Yeah, I agree absolutely. Like, I would say the biggest foundation for every young kid should be ballet, or gymnastic or combination of both.
Yeah.
Because we'll teach you understand the movements of the body, feeling the right muscles, get the connection with every single thing. If you look at the ballet, it's the line, it's the point, you know, everything. You need to be in alignment. And you practice the drills, that's another thing, so the practicing the drills. And you more, I would say, the usage is really wide. So for example, I started 2 weeks ago, I started Krav Maga. Just sort of like, I want to do something for different.
Don't hurt us, Mr. Israeli Army man over here. Krav Maga, isn't that right?
Yeah, it's full on, it's full on. But as well, it's like you need to get the technique. So or dancing, you know, do salsa. I would like to learn salsa.
Yeah.
So if I go there, I might look at them, I copy that quickly, you know, because the body is used to learning, copying someone's style.
Yeah,
okay, so when you start early in a young age, obviously you are able to get it faster. You know? So if I would need to, let's say, translate it to any sport, you know, changing direction, rugby or soccer, I train soccer guys as well, small kids back home. The drill, to changing the direction, the strengths, the speed. Oh yeah, you can definitely
translate it. Yeah, so I find that fascinating. Like if we want to have kids one day, what sports am I going to get them into? Because I don't think I would pick rugby, even if they want to play rugby. I think that's, in terms of a mindset, rugby's a great thing because you just do a bit of everything. Like they're always willing in the rugby league circle to try MMA. Like we'll do MMA sessions. We'll have to do wrestling. We'll do powerlifting. We'll have an element of that. We'll have an element of agility and speed. But I feel like that one sport, like I'm always find it fascinating what they can make as a base and they can shoot it out to different sports.
I think you're right. I think with ballet or gymnastics, it's the discipline that's needed.
That's a good point.
The practice, and kids miss that these days. It takes hard work, like we were saying, to get where you are, and that comes through practice, habits, and doing it every day.
Yeah.
But also coming back to ballet it's functional movement, right? So it's training, your lateral movements. It's strengthening your ligaments in ways that it's not going to harm, especially as you're developing.
Definitely.
So I think dancing, gymnastics is an awesome foundation for any child.
And what about your conditioning though? Like if we have conditioning in different sports, like say let's pick boxing as an example, they might do drills where they're skipping to try and get they might do running, like long distance running, just to get the cardio element. With ballet, I always just imagine ballet being a thing where your conditioning comes from the choreographed movements that you're learning for that particular event. Is that right?
That's correct.
Or is there particular conditioning drills that you do individual that are away from it? That's what we call in Australia bread and butter. Bread and butter means that you do all the time. Like, so another example, like bread and butter would be skipping for a boxer, just to get the conditioning. Obviously, sparring and fighting would be, match fitness. But ballet, is there particular conditioning that you do away from it, or do you just focus on the choreographed movements for the events that you're building up towards?
Yeah, so every day, you have a 1.5 hour ballet training, and that starts at the bar. So you spend about 15-20 minutes on the bar. So you have a set of exercises you do, and there will be one of the guy who is, I would say, the coach, in a ballet, shows you, okay, I want you to do babatandu, I want you to do this and that. Very quickly explain what you're gonna do as an exercise, and then you keep going. Then there's a competitor plays on the piano, and you just keep going. Okay, very short rest. Okay, will involve more warm up, and work more on the technique at the bar. And then you move to we call dancing out, in the middle, and that will be more adagio, lifting the legs, strengthening all the muscles, pirouettes and stuff. And then you finish with allegro, with lots of jumps. Okay. And then you work on a technique like double tours, different jumps as a choreography. Right, and the guy will choose them. Usually have a set exactly what you're gonna do. If you start like small jeté, work as your feet, and you do échappé, assemblée, so more jumps and go harder. And then you end up by doing quite creative choreography. Yeah. And as a practicing, you practice one of the roles you're gonna do. So let's say if you're in the theater and you do swan lake, and you print, you're definitely gonna do prints again and again and again. You do, I don't know, 6 times the whole choreography, and then you do the duet. So you're lifting the legs, lifting.
Yeah.
Next. So you don't stop.
Repetition is the mother of skill, isn't that right?
Well, it's like Olympic lifts, right? They practice each component. You know, for 6 months it might take them before they actually can do a lift.
Yeah.
Properly.
Yeah.
And people don't see that behind the scenes.
No.
It's like, oh, you just got out there and did swim leg.
Yeah, exactly right.
No, I trained 4 hours a day and I broke every component down to, regress every exercise to make it happen.
Yeah. And this ongoing question that I keep targeting, like I've just got a bit of an obsession with it, of what sport could you translate into different sports? You guys have said it both, subconsciously. The reason why dancing and gymnastics maybe could be the key component, because you're saying discipline, and I think you mentioned individualisation as well, where from the rugby background, it's all teammates, you can hide behind a team. Where you're out on your own, you're a ballet dancer, you have to own your shit, Does that make sense? You have to own yourself. So you're out there doing it for yourself, and then you've got the discipline to do it on your own, then you can translate it into a team environment simultaneously. Or do you find that because you're so used to being on your own, it's a lot harder to be in a team?
Well,
Why is it personality?
Yeah, probably both, I would say, because when you dance in the theater, if you're not that good, you dance in a group. Okay, so you'll be like, the people around, they do like dancing together. There might be like 8 parts, pairs, couples, or a big group of people. If you better, you dance semi-solo. And if you really good, you do soloist. You're the main person.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, but sometimes you do main soloist, and the other days you might also be more in the group training, in the group performing. So it's more like you have to be able to dance as on its own, or also with other people around you.
Yeah.
And I never want to be. I never wanted to be like somewhere in the back. I'm like, okay, I'm hitting here, and it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Out showmanship.
Is that what it is?
I always like to be in the middle, or if it's a group training, performing, or if it's I used to do a lot on my own, so I'll be the main character,
main man of the show.
Yes.
What about this thing? Okay, I don't know if this is a bit of a confrontational thing right now, but the Billy Elliot movie. The Billy Elliot movie had that story of like the unaccepting family and friends based around what you wanted to do as a dancer. Did you find that growing up as a kid yourself?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And how do you handle that?
Well, look, the thing was when I was young, and my mom gave me on ballet, I obviously, you don't make the decision, you don't really like, oh, this was the right thing, or wasn't the right thing, and people then when you're getting older, they think like, oh, you're a ballet dancer, and they think you must be gay.
Yeah.
Alright? So basically,
the stereotype.
That's
the stereotype.
Oh, you ballet dancer. And we have two sayings. We have a dancer and ballet dancer back home. And whenever I say ballet dancer, I was always correcting them. I'm a dancer. It doesn't mean anything, like because you have the tights,
Yeah.
and
the shoes
and makeup, on the stage. It doesn't mean anything, okay? So I always said people like, come on, you get a lawyer, you get a haircut, you get
exactly right. Hey, the magistrates wear the wigs in court, don't they?
And as I was saying to you, my favourite actor in the world is Patrick Swayze, and I always relate this back because he was a ballet dancer to start with, and belly dancing is my favourite show in the world. I've watched it like 50 times. But that's a prime example of, a male that danced, and he was, victimised to some extent for doing ballet when he was younger, and that was his story. Look at him.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, he did ballet as well.
Oh, right, there you go. So coming back to the fighting aspect.
Exactly right. I just find that interesting that the bullying that you get based around what you do with yourself, it doesn't matter. Why does that define you? Anyway, what you do with your time, why does that define who you are? Like your definition of the sport that you play, if you want to play darts, then play darts. If you want to do ballet, do ballet. Who wins at the end of the day? I feel as though you would win at the end of the day, not blowing smoke up your butt, but the fact that you put in the time, you put in the discipline, those skills, we keep coming back to it, those skills are translatable to anything, business, relationships, whatever it is. So the naysayers can say what they want, really, can't they? But at the end of the day, if you're showing discipline, you're going to always get what you want at the end of the day.
But it's funny, when you said about the kid, also when I came here to Australia and I started working here as a PT after I learned English, which was a really funny chapter of my life, and people could understand me actually, you know.
Yeah.
I started working at the gym, and the other trainers they had a different background, you know, and some of them were just become trainers because they just said, okay, I'm gonna study, become a PT, but they might have no background in any sport, or maybe they had like a little bit of experience playing a football or training on their own.
Yeah.
And when they found out that I did ballet, they were like, oh, you ballerina, Marco, and they were making fun of me.
Yeah, okay.
You know? And I was thinking like, all right, so this guy is probably like someone in the young age, you know, might says, oh, you ballet dancer, you know, and feel maybe insecure, you know, and try to push sort of. And I'm like, well, I understand the body, you know, I can learn. I started, for example, doing Olympic lifting.
Yeah.
And there was a trainer, he couldn't get it, okay? And I got it straight away. And then we had another trainer, and he was like, okay, I want you to do split and jerk. And I said, do you want me to do split like forward or sideways? He's like, you can do both ways, so you can choose.
Yeah.
And the other trainer couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
And he was upset. And he's like, how long is it gonna take me to do it this way as well?
Yeah.
And the trainer said to him, mate, you just don't born that way, you know? Just do one leg forward, don't do sideways.
Yeah.
You know, and you could tell that he was upset inside. He couldn't digest it.
Exactly.
Someone is better than him.
Yeah.
But come on, I've been moving. I might not be good at a computer, you know, like typing things and technical stuff. It's tricky, you know, to drill a hole in the wall.
Yeah,
you know, it might be a bit tricky. You know? So luckily I'm renting, I'm not allowed to drill. But stuff like that, you know, you get a good connection with the body if you train since you were born almost.
It's an unknown biomechanics, isn't it? Like I'm the same. I've been in sport. I danced when I was younger, not professionally, but you know, and I did netball and swam, and then I became a PT and I taught for fitness and cycling classes and even though I don't have an exercise science degree per se, there's just a connection with the body that you can all of a sudden understand how you work, but more importantly how other people work. And you know, and you probably get it too. And you walk into the gym and you go, yeah, doesn't it look right? Why doesn't it look like everything? Your mind just breaks everything down when you look at people, how they move, how they walk, you know, and try to understand why they're not walking or performing correctly. And there's that mind-body connection.
Yeah, definitely. And then, so you were mentioning powerlifting and what Katie was saying, like we always spot how we could improve things as PTs, of PT background. Now you're doing powerlifting, is that right?
Olympic lifting.
Olympic lifting, yeah. So, but you have that background now of strength and conditioning that Sammy was telling me about, is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
And do you find that what Katie was saying, you tend to spot differences in what people could improve on based on their strength and conditioning?
Yeah, so I would say
always, like you're always looking at things from a different mindset, like compared to the other trainer who didn't get it, like I can't get it, why I can't do this movement. Can you spot it like, well this is the reason why, because blah blah blah? Yeah. And you find that because of ballet dancing that's improved your, I guess, self-awareness.
Yeah.
That's what you want. Is that what you were saying before?
Yeah, I
that
think
element of self-awareness.
that element of self, and what makes a really good PT is having a background of not just doing that. You know, whether it's a sports background, you've played a sport at an elite level, or not even an elite level, but or you've done something that's not just been two-dimensional bicep curls, overhead presses. You know, it's understanding the body on a different level, on a different plane.
Yeah. So is that what you're doing now, strength and conditioning?
Exactly, yeah. So I train people, make them stronger, fitter, leaner.
For a particular sport or just in general?
I work in a commercial gym, so it's mainly the general population. But I also have in my team few dancers.
Dancers,
yeah. So
funny that, isn't it?
Last year I had a girl, she was competing in Latino dance. She ended up second in the world. Wow. She was very good. She worked on her strength, you know, on her mobility. Okay, it was really shocking when we did the first session on stretching, and I stretched her, and I knew, like, I had to go a bit of at the back, you know, from ballet because they push you. You do split against the wall, and they push you to the wall. Okay.
Oh wow.
And you might cry as a child. Okay, so. It's like any other sport, gymnastic, you know, you can't just be like, is it okay? You know,
like get in position.
Yeah. So I was stretching her, not, I would say on a scale 1 to 10, like 7, really intense. she was stand up. She's like, oh my God, no one ever stretched me like that.
Yeah.
And I said to her, I was easy on you because I wanted to come back.
This is the Czech way.
That's a Czech way. Yeah.
But that was great. But also being working in the commercial gym, I've got a friend, Duncan Harvey. He's a bobsledder in Australia, was in the Olympics. So we always discuss things together. He was my mentor for 3 years. So and also saying, as you said, look at the people, what they do. I always love looking people how they move.
Yeah.
So I can see around, how people like what happened to the knee. Look at how people run. One leg is going this way, one leg this way, and then understanding and doing massive courses. I mean, every year I do at least 3-4 courses.
Yeah.
Study reading books. So I would say. It's quite lots of lists I've studied to help people. Now I can see, okay, that's a weak glute, or this needs to be strengthened. Okay, so all the posture's not right.
And what about, so how I was saying before, my background's from rugby league, and I had a lot of strength and conditioning, but it was all like Olympic lifts and sagittal playing. Obviously, we try to mimic the movements within the strength workouts and programming to make it rugby league focused, but we never had that kinesthetic sense, I guess. So we had a lot of weights background. Ballet doesn't have a lot of weights background. Do you feel as though, not that I know of anyway, because it's all about what you were mentioning before, on the actual ballet room. I don't know what you call the ballet room, forgive me for the lack of a better term. You're all in the room, you're not actually in the gym, are you?
That's correct.
So now, with your strength and conditioning background and ballet background, do you feel as though the strength and conditioning can be translated into ballet?
Yes.
So it's like we could take a leaf out of each other's book, really.
Yes.
The ballet, we could be doing ballet for the rugby league guys and girls, and you could be doing the strength and conditioning for the ballet. What type of drills would you give the ballet dancers based around your strength and conditioning background?
Well, definitely will be sort of like look at deeply more on the movements and a proper assessment of the joints. So when we talk about dancing with a partner, you have to be able to lift the person in a full arms extended, so full vertical lift, or even on one arm. Okay, so you have to be able to hold the gal on the top of your head with one hand.
Yeah.
So now when we look at the things like power, we look at the rotator cuff, we look at all the small muscles around involved. Obviously the coordination of the leg drive and press at the same time, but also someone might not have enough, let's say, strong back or strong shoulder or small muscles. They stabilize the joint. That's the big thing. So for example, I probably didn't have that, and I had an operation on my shoulder, so they had to fix my shoulder inside. It's fully fixed. I'm very balanced now, but I wish I had someone in the past who take me through the routine or explain me how I can train at the gym to make the body more prepared to be able to lift someone correctly without getting injured, and how to be strong. If I'm strong as I'm right now, oh my God, there will be, like lifts.
Yeah.
I will wait, before she comes out.
Throw it up, Go up to the roof.
So I had a great teacher for the ballet. He was really great in terms of performing, and doing the ballet moves. But I said to him, I want to be strong. What am I going to do? He said to me, every morning, jump on the floor, do 50 push-ups. Well, if you think about it, okay, it's better than nothing, but you do vertical lift when you lift the girl, and now you do horizontal one.
Yeah.
Well, it's not
you go on that
the same. So, and on the other hand as well, like when I start training here, at the gym, there were so many experts at the gym, and I was like, I want to get my bench up. What do I need to do?
Yeah.
And they were telling me, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, and then no one ever asked me, okay, what you've been doing the whole of your life.
Yeah.
And then Tony Butaji,
the
expert, in fitness, and all his courses, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He said
He was
to me,
my teacher.
Was he really?
Great.
Did we get him in the show?
Yeah, I ran into him actually because now I'm a lecturer in fitness, so he was my lecturer 15 years ago, and now I ran into him in the city actually, and I was like, Tony, and he's like, he must be like me, he has so many students. I'm like, I was your student, now I'm a lecturer. And he's like, oh wow, and he's got the Targi Institute now in Boston. Amazing. Veteran of the industry.
All my trainers, because I'm at Market Street, personal training manager, I took Sammy's job. Essentially, Sammy was Market Street personal training manager, and now she's obviously Bond Street. And all the trainers in our gym love Bataji. I tell them about courses, like we did one with Brendan Harris. Have you heard of Brendan Harris?
I did the video
Did you look on? So I thought he's amazing. And then like whatever they say, like Bataji first. It's always Bataji. So I've never met him. I've never even done one of his courses, but it's always just this brand. I don't know what his branding's like, what he's done in terms of his background. It just seems to be.
I call it the Google Bataji.
The Google Bataji.
You just ask him a question, he will just inhale, and then he will tell you.
Really?
Yeah, he's.
So is he smart? So you know how you're saying you're doing 3 or 4 courses a year. Do you find that these courses will make you the Michael Google, or do you feel did he do like a doctorate in university? I can't remember what he's done in the background. Like, what is it? The courses, the individual courses that we do within it. Like, you doing the Bataji courses over a long period of time will therefore translate into your own Google format. You will know everything about everything, I guess. Or is it the fact that he's a science degree background?
Well,
Has he got a science degree?
He's got a science degree. He's got a PhD.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
He's got a PhD. Yeah. Is that something you would ever go into then?
Well, I would love to know the answers of
everything,
everything. And also help clients, to whenever they ask me questions, I like to discuss with them things and also explain them why we do actually the exercise. Because sometimes someone can come to you and they're like, oh, I want to get big, I want to strong, I want to bring my bench up, for example. But then you find out that they have some weaknesses or imbalances, and it's pretty hard to without acknowledging them, telling them why you do things, you just start, let's say, doing structural balance. You'll be like, oh, when I'm doing single arm dumbbell chest press or some rotator cuff, I want to do the bench.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you don't explain to people, they might leave you as a trainer, because they think like, oh, I want to do bench.
Yeah.
You don't do bench.
Yeah.
So I found it a bit tricky, but the older I am and more I am at the gym and more experience I have with clients and I explain them why we do things to help them better, to make them better, then they are like, okay, I believe you. And then when we train, I like to discuss them and educate them kind of like why we do things.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. That comes down to individualizing people's programs.
Yeah.
Not having a blanket approach, and I think that really differs with personal trainers, is training every one of their clients the same. I've seen you go to a gym and one trainer puts every one of his clients bench, squat, deadlift, without actually remembering what is their goal. Do they need to be doing those 3 big moves, and is it related back to what they want, or is it because you just know how to do those moves and that's how you train yourself, so that's how you're going to train your clients? So there's a big divide there, and also coming back, we were talking to Riker last week about target markets, and obviously you've come back to your passion with attracting dancers because you have an automatic knowledge of what they go through and what their movement patterns and what their career looks like, and so you can sort of click with that better as well.
Yeah, I don't attract them that much, like as I maybe more athletes and stuff, it's just a commercial gym, so people are more like office workers, bankers, accountants, lawyers, but applying the background and the knowledge, like Bataji or Bakli or other courses have done, a nutrition part, like all together, because everyone, you can't just say, okay, I'm going to train you based on this protocol, or, so you might do different assessment or different approach by each person. So it's a good combination.
So you obviously work with the office workers, and we're helping a big deal of that demographic of people sitting down. That causes a lot of neck pain, headaches. So that's a great, demographic of what you're working with. Postural element. Who's your ideal customer? Who would you love to work with? Who's your ideal person? A person who's got a dancing background, who loves to bring strength and conditioning into it, or is there a particular person that you'd love to work with in particular? And are you working with that person at the moment?
So it doesn't need to be like a ballet background, the most of the people I like to train are the people, when I'm a bit passionate, okay? So I'm never sick, okay? I'm always around, and I hate when trainers actually sit or drink coffee, or that's no, right? So I'm always in, look at every single angle, and I like to bring the energy in the session, and I like receiving the energy from the client, okay? So people who come and they're like, oh, I'm tired today, or they don't last. Okay, if they every single day like that, I understand like sometimes it can be they're all tired.
Yeah.
But if people like they listen, they understand what you want them to do. It doesn't need to be like super top athlete, but they get it, And the people I'll say like, okay, I want you to do, let's say, heavy military press for 5 reps. We do it this way. We know based on the percentage, based on the program, what the person did last time. So that's gonna be a bit up 2 kilos. And then the person like, oh, might be hard. Come on, you can do it, you know.
Yeah.
And they really do it, and they feel really, they achieve that, you know. They feel really good. You feel good. They feel good, you know. So everyone feels good, you know. And it's kind of like that environment I love.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they see they progress, okay? Or if I have someone, let's say, I've got many clients for years, they stay with me, and let's say, I remember back, you know, I had a client, you know, he came, and obviously you ask what's the goal of the person, but they never really tell you in 30 minutes or 1 hour, like what's the real reason why they want to train with you, okay? Because if we see like, first time right now, I'm not going to tell you what's my weaknesses or what's my biggest questions or whatever things, yeah? It's kind of, you need to build a relationship with the person, yeah?
Cool.
So some people might say to you, I want to be strong and be big, okay? Like everyone goes to be big.
Always.
But then you find out, that the person actually want to be body confident, you know, feel inside, you know, really wealthy, like well and confident.
Yeah.
And then you build them this confidence, you know, and then one day when they come and they say, thank you, Michael, you know, I feel really body confident, I can go out, you know, to the beach,